Matt, are you up there and are we okay? Okay. That it's 10 o'clock. You want to get started, Jill? All right, it's 10 o'clock. Let's call to order the Wednesday, September 10th, 2025 meeting of the License and Variance Board. Starting off great. I'm Andrea Worthy. I'm the Director of Economic Development. To my left is Bo Jones, Director of Water, Sewer, and Utilities. And to his left is Mary Moore, the Director of Library Services. We make up your License and Variance Board today. And we'll go ahead and begin with formal business. Item 4A, V25-083, a public hearing variance request to allow new construction on a lot of record below minimum requirements in land lot 557 at 1463 Collier Drive. John Bradford is the applicant. Ms. Crow, the background.
All right. Good morning. Caitlin Crow, Land Development Services Coordinator for Community Development. So we actually have 3 variances today on this property. So I'm going to go ahead and read them all together, but you will, as you know, vote on them separately, but just to be a little bit more concise this morning. So the first variance is what you just read out loud, V25-083, to allow new construction on a lot of record below minimum requirements. Then we have our second variance, V25-084, to reduce the eastern side setback from 12 feet to 10 feet. And then finally, we have V25-085 to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2.6 feet. So this subject parcel is just around the corner from City Hall here on Collier Drive. There is an existing single-family home there that the applicant is proposing to substantially remodel. So this existing lot is a platted lot of record, which was platted back in 1950, which is prior to our current ordinance of 1974. It is a little over 19,700 square feet, while the R20 zoning district does require a minimum square footage of 20,000 square feet. Due to that roughly 300 square feet deficit, the variance is required to allow for that new construction. Since this, again, was a previously platted lot, the hardship is not self-created. So again, this is a single-family home currently. For the substantial remodel that the applicant is proposing, they are going to use the existing footprint of the home, but because they're going to add a second floor, a new roof system, as well as doing more than 50% remodel, it is considered a new home by zoning standards and thus does need to come into compliance there as well. So with the home being extended using the existing footprint, the home is currently encroaching into the eastern side setback by 2 feet. Since the applicant would like to limit land disturbance and continue that existing line, the variance for the side setback is being requested. Since, again, this home has existed since the 50s, the hardship, again, is not self-created. Additionally, the new build is going to utilize the existing driveway, but only one portion. It currently is a circular drive, but they are going to remove most of that driveway and continue it back to access a side entry garage. This will reduce the impervious surface below the required 35% by removing this amount of driveway. But by doing so, they will need that driveway setback reduction to 2.6 feet to allow for the radius to access the side entry garage. Because this is going to reduce that impervious coverage, staff is also supportive of this request. After reviewing this application, staff do believe that all 3 of these variances are the minimum variances needed to allow for this new home. So after reviewing the variance application, staff does support all 3 variances and does recommend your approval with the following 2 stipulations. The first stipulation, of course, is our standard stipulation. Approval of the requested variances shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And number 2, any damaged or broken curb caused during construction shall be replaced prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy. And with that, I can answer any questions. Additionally, I would like to mention I have Clara Hodges here from the engineering department if there's any questions about stormwater, which was not required for this application.
Questions for staff?
All right, thank you.
Applicant here? And can you step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record?
John Bradford, 3154 Dunn Street, Southeast Smyrna, 30080.
Mr. Bradford, do you have anything else to add to what Ms. Crowe?
No, ma'am.
You understand the two conditions, stipulations that were attached to this and agree to adhere to those?
Yes.
Any questions for the applicant, board?
John, how much of the old house are you planning on keeping?
The footprint's the entire thing.
You're gonna keep the remaining house there, but just build new construction around it and go up? Sounds like you're taking
We're
the
going
roof off.
back on both sides and then up on the right side. The left side actually, we're changing the roof pitch, but essentially the load's the same, so yeah, that's what the intention. We actually already had the structural engineer take a look at everything, so.
What is the square footage of the new construction going to be?
Approximately 47 to 4,800. I don't think that includes the garage or any outdoor covered space, but that's the heated square footage.
All right, if you wouldn't mind just having a seat right there, we're going to have to go through each of these separately, and I'll need you to come up each time. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here that wishes to speak in favor of or against this item, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Good morning. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Maurice Filio. I live at 1480 Memory Lane with my wife Cheryl. And the reason I'm here, and we're very happy that Lisa sold her house and she was able to move to South Carolina. But we've had, two houses that abut our lot in the last 2 years, plus one additional one over, and until the city engineers were involved, a lot of the folks were just raising the land, putting in watering systems, et cetera, and the water was directed to our property, and there's now a lot of water that goes through there. So our only concern was to be sure that, in this case, it wouldn't be raising the level again, although we're uphill, still pushing the water on our property because there's so much. And I've talked to the folks at the city engineer. Caitlin recommended we call them, and we did. And they told us that there's no grading permit and that the level of the property will not be changed. And that the water will run towards the front and the street as opposed to our property, which is in back. And those were our concerns. Other than that, we're very happy with the renovation, and we have no concerns. So if that is the case, then we're very happy. Otherwise, we'd have a couple of concerns. Is that okay?
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate that. Claire, did you want to add anything to what he said? I mean, I think that pretty much explains it. Okay, all right. So no stormwater issues with this particular one. Okay, with that, if there's anyone else that wants to speak, with no one else in the room, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V25-038 to allow new construction of lot of record below the minimum requirements located at 1463 Collier Drive. John Bradford is applicant.
Second.
We have a properly moved and seconded. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. The next item is item B, V25-084, a variance request to reduce the eastern side setback from 12 feet to 10 feet in land lot 557 at 1463 Collier Drive. John Bradford, the applicant. Ms. Crowe, do you have anything else to add to this?
Not at this time.
Any questions of staff? Any questions of the applicant? You heard the same stipulations that were with the first one. You agree to adhere to those as well? That's an affirmative from there. And this is a public hearing. If anyone wishes to speak for or against this item, please come forward to the podium. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve variance request V25084, reduce the eastern side setback from 12 feet to 10 feet, land lot 557, 1463 Collier Drive, John Bradford.
Second motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. That passes unanimously. Moving on to item C, V25-085, a variance request to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2.6 feet in land lot 557 at 1463 Collier Drive, John Bradford, the applicant. Ms. Crowe, any additional information to add?
Not at this time.
Any questions of staff or the applicant? Applicant, you agree to adhere to the two stipulations that the previous two? That is an affirmative. This is a public hearing. If anyone here wishes to speak for or against this item, please come forward. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V25-085, reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 2.6, 1463 Collier Drive. John Bradford is applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's please vote. That passes unanimously. All right, moving on to approval of minutes. We have the minutes, approval of the August 27th, 2025 License and Variance Board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. Any other business to come before the board? All right, we consider this meeting adjourned at 10:11 a.m.